What do you get when you mix a health coach and a wellness coach mixed with a lot of curiosity? You get two people who ask a lot of questions about health and wellness. Today, we ask what happened to our previous call to actions.
It is our 100th episode, and we take a look back at what our previous CTAs were and where we stand now. So let's get started as we ask.
Wait, what?
Hi, Leah.
Happy 100, Kamna.
Happy 100. This is
I
so
love this.
exciting.
It's so exciting. I'm so proud of us too. So,
Who would have known two people who knew nothing about podcasts would get to 100 episodes?
mhm. And have 100 different weeks of stuff to talk about. That's
Yeah,
what
we see.
everybody says to us. How do you know? Aren't you going to run out of things? And we're like, well, we still haven't.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, I really appreciate it because I have learned so much in researching these topics.
I've learned more than I ever have, probably combined in these last 2 years than I ever have in my life,
Yeah.
just about stuff in general. Really,
Yes.
seriously.
I agree.
Yeah,
And it's
and
fun.
more important stuff, I would say, than other
Hmm.
things I've learned. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But what
I
were you
agree.
saying? It's
No,
fun.
I think it's fun, but it's also like I have always had some of these questions in my mind. So
Mhm.
then to actually say, okay, I have to research it and I need to ask the questions. I'm like, oh, this is why, or this makes
Yeah,
sense, or so
exactly.
I appreciate all of
It
that.
forces us to do it because there's so many things I wanna know, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll look that up next time I sit down."
Hmm.
And then either A, I sit down, or B, I don't wanna do it or think of something else
Right.
and whatever, so but yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Well, I can't wait to hear about this week's, topic with and jump into
So
that, so
yes, I'm excited for that too. I do want to hear, how did your call to action go this week?
oh, so I haven't actually bought the gelato. Mine was to try gelato. So I'm actually going today to buy it. I'm just gonna buy that, like, little pint of Talani to
Oh,
something,
that's
whatever.
so good.
So I'm
Oh
gonna
my
buy
God.
that at Target, I think, and then just do it today,
I
but
don't
I
know if you
haven't had
like
time.
butter pecan. There's like some pecan, salted caramel pecan. Oh my God, that one is so good.
Oh, okay.
I'm impressed that you didn't go out that night and buy it because that's what I would have done.
I'm trying to think of when we recorded, but I don't think I could. I think I was like I had a million things to do. One of
Yeah.
those times. But yeah, I plan on it. I'm going.
Oh, that sounds so good.
I
Oh,
know. What
I'm
was
gonna
your
go get
call
some
to
too.
action?
Mine is just to keep focusing on the protein and the fiber.
Oh
We've
yeah, yeah, yeah.
been working on that all week, and um, just some really interesting things. And I think I might have mentioned this last week, but I like focusing on the protein and fiber because those are numbers that I can control instead of
Mm,
focusing on the scale. And the
mm,
scale hasn't budged, and I'm okay with that because I feel fuller. I think I'm eating better. I'm making better choices. It doesn't mean that I don't have an entire bread pudding at a restaurant because it's the best thing I've ever eaten. But I'm still focusing on other things. So
mhm.
I can then enjoy that dessert or whatever
I
without.
love that you said that because I think some people are thinking we're doing this and we're not splurging on anything. And you had bread pudding. I had my sister's birthday cake. I have had ice cream for dinner 2 times this week. Like,
Oh,
we're
wow.
still enjoying things, but we're also still trying to focus on getting that protein and fiber in.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying is that it's taken the pressure off of, don't eat this and don't do that and don't that. Like doing all the things I want to do, but putting the focus on something positive,
Mhm,
I think is making me feel more empowered, and
mhm.
just noticing that I can actually eat more protein than I have been doing. And it's not that difficult, but my number isn't so high. It's like around 60 grams of protein a day.
That's still pretty high. It really
It's
is.
high, but I think compared to what a lot of people have. But for me, it's just, I want consistency. So
Mhm.
anything around that area, I'm happy. Or even
That's
with the
exactly
fiber.
how I feel, because before I would hit my protein, like, twice a week, and then what and the rest of the week would be, like, 25 to 35, and I'm like, "There's no consistency in that." So even if I'm
Right.
above 50 every day, I'm
Yep.
considering that a win.
I agree. I agree. So I
Same with my
really actually,
fiber. Yeah.
yeah. How are you getting your fiber in?
That has been easier than I thought. It's really just a bunch but I love fruit, so it's a cup of
Mhm.
blueberries or a cup of blackberries in my day. So that hasn't been too hard for me.
Very nice. And
Not
those are
that's
good for
not
you.
it, by the way. I don't
Right.
want anybody to think 25 grams of fibers in a cup of blueberries because it's not.
Yeah.
But it's like an additional in with everything else.
Sure. That's
So
wonderful. I've enjoyed it, and I think I'm
mhm.
gonna keep doing it because I really like it.
I will let you know when I see the weight loss, what happens. I'm
Well,
still weight loss on the fence. I know I need to get that out of my head, but I'm not there yet.
I that's fair. That's completely
Mhm.
fair. But for
Mhm.
me, it's a different mindset. I want to figure out how to eat better, and I think the rest of
Mhm.
it will follow. I already feel better. I feel less bloated. I feel less backed
You
up.
feel full.
I feel full.
Yeah.
I was saying in one of our groups, I always thought something was broken in me that I never got full.
Mhm.
And I could eat and eat, and I'm like, I'm not full. And I watch these people doing the competitive eating. I'm like, I could do that because I could eat so much.
Mhm.
But it's really that I know that's a
I'd love
weird
to see
thought.
it, but go on.
But I think it's just because I wasn't eating the right
The
things.
right things. Absolutely. Yeah. I can't say anything else except I totally agree with everything you said.
It just makes me feel like I'm not broken, which is a good feeling.
Yes. You never were, but yes,
Thank
I know
you.
what you mean. So what do you love? Isn't it your week?
It is my week. Okay, so you know how the universe just gives you a gift sometimes? And there it's like, here you
Yes.
go. So I was driving around, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, and I was listening to a podcast that I haven't listened to in a long time, which is the Dr. Mark Hyman podcast. It's the
Okay.
Doctor's Pharmacy. And this particular episode is number, um, I just had it. Where did it go? It's number 348. No, sorry, that's the wrong episode. Give me a second.
But it's Dr. Mark Hyman, right? He's Cleveland
It's
Clinic,
Dr. Harmon,
right?
and he talks about the science of weight loss. And it doesn't have a number. It's the science of weight loss, what you need to know. And the reason why I found this really interesting is because he goes through a couple of different theories. He talks about how calories in, calories out, which is a math equation, is perfectly fine if you look at it on a physics level. But that physics equation, the first law of physics is it's a closed system. And what he's saying is we think calories in, calories out, we should lose weight, right?
Right. So everybody tells me
But there's a lot of things we don't account for: hormones, food quality, stress levels, lifestyle
sleep.
choices. There's sleep, right? There's a lot of factors that don't get calculated into that equation.
Mhm.
And the second thing he goes through is how, like, if you're having a overload of carbs, it can affect how you lose or gain or whatever. He does talk a little fast, and he does give a lot of science. So I think I would need to listen to it at half speed. I
Oh,
haven't
oh.
completed the episode. He talks fast and I want to catch everything. It's such an interesting episode. And one thing he says, which I think is the pivotal point in this whole episode, is the, the calories in, calories out model blames us for not doing enough.
Mm,
You're not eating the right things. You're not doing enough exercise. That's why you're not losing weight. And that's a blame game. And he said,
mhm.
that's not really what we should be doing. So I haven't actually completed this episode. I have a few minutes left. I found it fascinating, and he's so informative, and I really feel
He
like
he's basically reassuring what you just said that we're not broken.
we're not broken. Yes. That there are factors that we're not considering,
Yeah.
and why, even though we've eaten so much, why we're still hungry. He goes through all of the science about that. I found it fascinating.
Very
I would
cool.
I would recommend it. He
Okay.
does talk very fast.
Okay.
So beware.
All right. I can't wait to listen to him. I've listened to one episode before, the one about the plastic, and
Hmm.
he's really convinced me like, why do we have plastic anything anymore? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not,
He's
I still haven't gotten rid of all my plastic Tupperware, but someday.
yeah. I've gotten rid of a lot of mine, and I hardly use it except for if I have to take something
Mhm.
somewhere. He's done some episodes on IBS or gut health. He's done it on magnesium, stuff that we've talked about also. I find him very interesting, and I've learned so much, but he does talk way too fast.
Okay. That's good to know, though.
Yeah. And he interviews really good guests sometimes too.
Okay. All right.
That's what I love.
So we will be listening to that.
Thanks.
All right. So tell me about our podcast topic today.
So, um, I was sleeping one night. I'm like, sometimes I wonder what about all the old CTAs that I made, the call to actions. Am I still doing them? Did I just say it just to say it? Am I
Mhm.
really following through? So I mentioned it to you and you're like, yeah, we need to talk about this.
Yes, I think people might want to know too.
I think so. And I think it's good to revisit. We have best of intentions. How do we execute
Hmm.
it?
Hmm.
And
I,
I suspect
I
this is going to be a much more personal episode.
Yeah, so I went through loosely. I didn't go listen to every episode. I went through loosely my notes from the past year on things I've made call to actions that I've written down. And my also call to action for the rest of this year is to take better notes. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing because I really am bad at that. But anyway, and I wish I would have wrote the date that I made them because I
Yeah.
think that might. This is another thing I've thought in my head is like there might be a pattern to some
Oh,
of my call to actions,
okay.
and I need to put the date by them to see.
Hmm.
Like if certain times of the year I am in a food rut and that's why I maybe picked to try new foods, or is it season change that I need to exercise? Like I think there may be a pattern if I put that with the date, but I didn't do that. I mean, I
Hmm.
could go back and go to each podcast and listen and do it that way, but let's be honest, I'm not going to.
Right.
So,
It's
but it
it
was
yeah.
interesting.
It was
But
interesting. And I think some of them I had forgotten. It's like, oh, I didn't remember that. And I think the point of revisiting this is that, we all have goals that we set. Like, I'm
mhm,
gonna walk 5 miles every day,
mhm.
whatever it is. And then somehow we get off the track and we just don't end up doing what we say we're gonna do.
Oh yeah.
So
A
to
lot.
set these, and when the few weeks that we weren't really setting call to actions, we were like, oh, kind of miss it.
Mhm. We need it. We really do need it. Yeah.
And I think
So,
people can do this in their own life where they set a call to action accountability with their friend. Like,
mhm,
hey, check in with me. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
mhm.
Because,
Anything, by the way, like we have had people scheduling doctor's appointments to cleaning a dresser drawer to, cleaning the refrigerator. Like I think we forget that we just need to be accountable to something.
yes, I agree.
And that's what
And,
we're for. We
and
we
it,
will check in on you.
yeah, and it matters
Mhm.
because the more you do, the more proud you are of yourself.
Mhm.
Oh, so speaking of that, my biggest one that I'm so proud of that actually completed
Okay. What
is
is it?
turning my desk around.
That I forgot. I did remember. I forgot about that, but I do remember this now. Wasn't it like 2 weeks in a row?
It was, yeah, I missed it one week for some reason, and then I did it the second week. I'm like, I have to
That's a
complete
perfect
this.
example of it doesn't have to be like
Yeah.
earth-shattering or health and wellness related.
Well, it was because now I sit in this space and I'm just so happy that you don't have to
This
see the
is
messy room.
true. We would love to see your messy room.
No, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
you're right
no.
though. You know what? Another good thing about looking back on our call to actions is you said it just now is so that we can feel proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to sit here and tell you that I accomplished nothing this past year because if I judge it by the scale, I really accomplished nothing, right? If we're going on
Yeah.
that level.
Good
But when
point.
you look back, there's so many things that we did accomplish, and you have to find that pride in yourself, or you're just going to be a miserable and not get what you want for the next
Yeah.
coming year, you
That
know?
is right on the nose. I
Yeah.
love that. Love the way
So
you put it.
here's something that I discovered about mine. At least four, at least four had something to do with exercise.
Oh, okay. I thought there was
Okay,
more than
so
that.
no, that's what I mean. At least that I wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them were specific. Here's some of them where I was going to set a specific time for doing my arms and using my 3 pound weights,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was like the call to action for a couple of weeks, like use my 3 pound weights or set a specific time or cue it with something. There was another week or so that I had said I'm going to make an exercise plan because I
Mm-hmm.
plan everything else out. I need a plan. There was another one that was master my Wednesdays and master at least getting exercise in on Wednesdays.
Right.
And then there was plenty that were exercise 1 day this week. And I just find it
Yeah.
very interesting that a lot of my call to actions were all about exercise,
Yeah, I agree.
but I hate it. Do you know
You
what I
still
mean?
hate it.
So I do. But so what I think, what I'm trying to say, I think, is that it clearly was something that was that important to me if I made this a call to action over and over and over and over again,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But all of these led to my realization that wait, exercise for me in my life isn't just going to happen. It's kind of
Oh.
like the protein. I was waking up every day and just hoping that I'd get my 80 grams of protein. It's
Mhm.
not just going to happen. Same with my
Right.
exercise. I can't just wake up and hope that it happens.
Right.
And that's what I was doing. Just like, all right, I'm going to do it and hope that it happens. I need to form a plan and follow through with it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes. Wow. Yes.
I couldn't believe that though. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really had a problem." Oh, you guys were probably all sick of hearing me talk about exercise this past year. I'm sick of it. But what else did you discover?
Mine was really food related a
Okay, tell
lot.
me some more.
If I look at the theme, a
Okay, so
lot of
your theme is food.
yes.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me some more. Give me some
I think
examples.
I think that's fascinating. I don't know. Um, early on it was to try a new food,
Okay.
which I don't think I did, but I have been trying to incorporate new things into my repertoire of foods.
Yeah, you're doing that now.
Yeah, I'm trying, which I didn't
Yeah,
even realize that it probably started from that call to action.
it
I
could
think,
have.
yeah, I'm just trying to do things. Some turn out good, some are terrible. It's fine. So I waste a little bit of money. Feel bad about that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, if you're scared, well, that's a lot of the reason why I'm scared to try different food because I'm afraid
Yes.
I'm going to waste the money.
Yeah, I don't want to, and then I'm like, I have to eat it, but I don't really
I
like it.
know. I know. Mm.
If I can buy a small portion, great.
Hmm.
The the next one was this was a big one for me, and I've actually completed this in its entirety. So when I used to come home from parties, I used to come home and
Yes.
eat. And I don't know if it was I was trying to be proper, I didn't like what was served, or I was too busy talking. I don't know what the reason was, but I would always come home and want to eat.
Could have been
And
relief.
it could
Like,
have been
oh, this is done and over with.
well, yeah, because I have a lot of social anxiety. So it very
Yeah.
well could have been relief. So the fact that I was reading that and I'm like, I don't think I do that anymore.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. And I didn't realize until I went back and I was like, I remember that feeling when I would come home, but in probably the past year, I haven't done that. I
That's a
had not
big
even,
deal.
it did, the thoughts not really even entered my mind. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, but then I just drink some water and I go to bed. So,
Wow. That's
yeah.
a big deal. Good for you.
But what I like is in the fact of reviewing it, I was like, okay, I actually had some progress.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And you're proud of yourself,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
So I had one too, a couple different weeks was to track specific things. Like track 1 or 2 weeks, it was like to track my sugar and look at that,
Hmm.
my added sugar. And then I'm pretty sure I've tried fiber in the past, remember, because I was super bloated. And then you told me to drink more water. So I've toyed with different methods of tracking this past year, and
Yeah.
I'm doing it now. I mean, I'm still doing the tracking, and I think I'm on like a streak of like 180 days of tracking. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty good, right? Let me
Yeah.
see.
It's
Pull it up right
great.
now.
And technically it would have been more, but you had a little break of like 1 or 2 days,
I don't,
right?
did I?
Yeah, you had lost your streak because there's something happened and you just couldn't get to it. I think you were out of town or you're sick or something.
I don't remember now. Well, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna look right now. Oh, that's the thing I love about the Lose It app. Like I didn't quote unquote finish tracking yesterday, but I can go back and do it, and I'm at 164 days. So you're right. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So that was one I did too. What else
I
did you do?
I think also for
Oh,
me, tracking was probably one of them, but the fact
yeah.
that I've shifted my focus now from what I'm eating, like, oh, I ate a bag of Oreos or a sleeve of Oreos, or instead of focusing on that, it's more like, what is my data? How are my calories? How is my fat? How's my protein? How's my sugar? Like
Because
I'm
that's how
looking at,
you think of tracking now.
yes.
Yes, I agree. Now, I'm going to say something that I hope doesn't get, it shouldn't. But when I was tracking points, I was just tracking points.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no data to really collect there. And I
Right.
think that tracking on the Lose It app or any other app for that matter, there's so much more data to collect and look at that I'm actually
Yeah,
finding it more beneficial.
absolutely. And then you're like, oh, this has protein in it.
Yeah,
Great.
and I'm eating better quality food.
Yeah.
Way better quality food than I ever did when I counted points. Because before I
Yeah.
was just scanning and finding the lowest point option, and that wasn't healthy.
Yeah. And you could have a diet soda and it's 0 points. And
Hmm.
yeah, you're great, but it's actually not good for you. So,
No, right. So much healthier. Another thing I did do, which a couple were food for me too, which was buy lentils, which I've accomplished. Check.
ew,
Greek
yes.
yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. Check. Did that
Nice.
this year, and then Himalayan sea salt. That definitely that episode. That is the only salt we use now. My kids love it. Everybody loves it. So those are
Nice.
some pretty cool things I think that have happened this year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
You're really walking the talk. That's the expression, right? You're
I,
doing the things that you
maybe
say.
that's what it is. Yeah, I am. I think I made lentils a couple more times after that. The Greek yogurt I discovered makes my head flare up. So I'm learning things about myself when I make these call to actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I had this was actually a really interesting one. Sit when I'm eating, even if it's a
Oh.
snack.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're walking around or standing and you're just like eating. And I
Do you
think
think you did it?
I 100% do it. And I actually get annoyed when I see, in particular, my husband, he stands and eats a lot. I'm like, you need to sit down. You really need to sit down. Eat whatever you want, but you need to sit down. So I think I have put this into play more than I even realized.
Wow, so you're even telling other people that they need to sit down. I mean that in a positive way. But
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
Yes. I think
that's a
it's actually
really good
better
one.
for our digestion. And then when I think I realize the science behind why, like this makes
Hmm.
sense. I need to make time to just sit down and eat and not be distracted by other things or walking or phone or, whatever it is. I just need to focus on my food.
Yeah, good for you. Really good for you on that one.
Thanks.
One of my random ones was to clean my room
Oh yeah, you
and
did your
like
dresser.
organize stuff. And yeah, one was just a dresser, and then another week it was to clean and redo my room. And then, gosh, I went through a whole cleaning spree. And for the most part, I've kept it up. But it's really easy to deep clean something and then not touch it again.
Yes. Yes.
So for the most part, it was pretty good. I would like to do that some more. I think make some more
Hmm.
getting organized ones, but
The problem with deep cleaning is you clean something, and you're like, this is amazing. I love it. And then you turn around, you're like, oh boy, more work to do.
hmm. And then you have to do the other part. Then you go to another room, and by the time you're done, you got to
You have to
just go back
start.
and do it
Yeah,
again. It's never ending.
it isn't, but
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, you do feel so good after.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. When everything's
Hmm.
clean, you're like, all right, I like it.
Yep. Yep. So are there any more that you accomplished? Because I have some that I did not
Oh yeah,
accomplish.
I have a few of those. um, there's one that's not food related at all, but it was because as a new health coach, I was really excited. So then I would start giving people advice,
Oh
even
yeah,
when they weren't asking me. And one of my call to actions was to not say anything like you really shouldn't drink diet soda. Like it's not fair to somebody for me to just start spouting information at them.
yeah.
And I think I have accomplished this, in that unless someone's asking me, I'm not telling you. Because
Mm,
we all have our own choices in life, and it's not fair for me to say, "Hey, you really shouldn't eat like that," or "You shouldn't eat that," or it's not fair.
right.
So I stopped doing that.
Good for you. That had to be hard though.
It was because I was so excited about what I was learning,
Yeah.
and still I'm excited.
I was gonna say you're still learning and you still get excited.
I'm still excited about it, which I know I'm on the right track, but I
Hmm.
have to temper that when I'm talking to other people because everybody's journey is their own.
Mhm.
and I have to respect that.
That's very, I don't know what word to use, but I love that about you. It's a great quality.
Thank
To
you.
one, realize you were doing something that might be aggravating people or annoying people, and then to say, I have to change that,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
it's for me, it was really about respecting the person in front of me. I don't want to say something that you're going to be like, can you just be quiet? I don't
Right.
want to hear about
Like,
this anymore.
I don't wanna tell Kamna what I ate because she might think it's, like, bad or,
Right. Right.
Right.
People still do that, by the way. They're like, oh, don't judge me by what I'm eating. I'm like, I'm not judging you at all. You
Oh,
eat what
people
you
still
want.
say that to me too.
Really?
Always, always. I mean, for years, I've had people say that, or if I run into people at the grocery store, they're like, "Don't look at my cart," and I'm like, "Please, don't look at my cart. Are you kidding?" You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
True. Another one I had was watch portions, which I think I'm
yeah,
getting okay with
we're
that.
mindful of it.
Yeah. Eating
Mhm.
slower, chewing more. Those are all
Chew
connected.
chewing more is one of mine, and I don't do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I did really good with it for, like, a week or 2 maybe, and then now I don't.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know if I forgot, which could be, but I don't know. I must have forgot. Maybe it's just not something I care about. I don't know.
I think it's not that. I think it's just not in our habit.
Right.
It's like I had a weird comparison. Can I say it? You think?
Sure.
Okay. You know how as women we're taught we're supposed to do Kegel exercises,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we always forget.
Always forget to do them.
It's
I
the
don't
same
even know if
kind.
I've done them in a year. I'm just saying.
And so it's like that with chewing. You know you're supposed to do it, but you forget.
Yeah. You
Sorry,
forget
that
and
was a weird
you're like,
comparison.
"No, no, it's true because that's a good comparison." And here's why it's good. Because in my head, I'm like, "Really, does this matter?" And same thing with the Kegel exercise. Like, really, is it really gonna make that big of a difference? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you could tell me that it really does make a difference, and I hear it and I believe it, but at the same time, I'm like, "Ugh, I just don't know if I believe it enough, maybe."
Yeah, maybe. But
Maybe.
as soon as someone says Kegel exercises, you're like, oh, doing it
Yep,
now.
doing it now. How did you know? Did my face look like that when you said it?
No, because I was
Oh,
thinking the same thing.
so true. But it's one of those things though, like, I don't know if it's maybe it'll make its way back into my life, who knows?
Yeah, I think it should.
Probably.
What are the ones that you were kind of successful with or not at all successful with?
Well, the chewing was for sure one. Um, my reading my self-help books. I have so many that I
Oh,
wanna read,
yeah.
and I did good, and now I don't even feel like it now.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You need a vacation.
I know, but I don't even know if I'd wanna read that on a vacation.
No, you just need a vacation from life so you can reset.
Maybe. I just have no desire to read them now. I was gung ho on it.
Mm,
Kinda makes me sad because I really wanna read them, but I'm just not
yeah,
motivated.
I agree.
Also, part of it is I fall asleep when I read them,
Yeah.
and that's annoying to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm. So, well, my 3-pound weight is not there. It's non-existent, and I was so good on that.
Hmm.
So that's another one that I failed pretty bad at.
So you're not using them
No, not at all.
because,
I don't know. I have no idea what happened.
well, I think well, you've already said exercise is not your favorite thing.
Mhm.
So maybe that's just like this is just adding more pain to the problem.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I wanna do it again, I really do. So I'm thinking maybe at my 5:30 time slot, I do a day of arms,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah.
important.
Yes, it is.
I just gotta get my I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you need to add any more pressure. You already had a good streak on your exercise.
I
Just
know, I'm
maybe.
doing very good, but I could choose that on one day,
Mhm. Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So, what were some that you didn't do?
Um, ask if I'm hungry. I don't think I'm really doing that very well. Sometimes I wait till it's too late and then I'm like too hungry.
Too hungry.
I'm still having that problem of not eating on a schedule, which I think I
Okay.
had set one week, like make sure you eat on time or before getting too hungry. And I'm
But it's also,
still,
that's a really hard one because sometimes I feel like we're too rigid on a schedule and we're eating just because we're not hungry. So it's really hard to figure that call to action out.
yeah, it is. And when it's like lunchtime, I'm not hungry.
Right.
Like right now, it's lunchtime. I'm not hungry,
Mm-mm.
but at like 3 o'clock, I'll be starving.
So it's maybe it becomes something where you go, I need to have a health pack snacks, like a healthy snack.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I need to do that, but that's one thing that I really fell down on. I had written this down, a couple of these, which I was like, I don't even remember this, but plan a cheat meal.
I don't remember you doing that either.
I didn't remember that, but it's in my notes.
Huh.
And the other one, which I kind of remembered, but I don't know if I'm actively doing this, is cut 100 calories a day.
Oh, I remember that, which
So,
really amounts to like a bite or two.
yeah,
So in some situations.
right, right.
I do remember that one. Are you
I think I'm trying, but
mine? Mine might have been the same week. Mine was to leave one bite in the bowl or on the
hmm
plate, and that I can't do it. I'm going to tell you flat out. It is so hard to do that.
yeah.
Very hard. So I get what you're saying.
I think I'm not actively leaving cutting 100 calories, but I think I'm trying to take less or
I
eat
was just
less.
gonna, so weird because I was gonna say, I think you're just not putting 100 calories on your plate,
Right. But
right?
yeah, I've realized there's something in the whole tracking and all of these things that we're looking at in terms of data. My calories are on point. My protein and fiber are now becoming on point. Where I'm struggling, which is like where I think my weight is stuck, is my carbs are too high.
Yeah, I
My
think we have
carbs
had a
are
couple people say that to us too.
my carbs are excessively high. And because I'm not paying attention to it, I think it's just like out of control.
Uh-oh,
So
do we have another challenge coming up?
maybe, maybe because I was like, I'm on point for everything else. So theoretically, I should be losing weight, right?
Mhm.
I'm doing the activity, I'm doing the protein, I'm doing the fiber. But if my carbs are too high, that's just creating a really bad cycle for my
Yeah.
burning of my fuel.
Gosh, yeah.
So that was one. The one I'm still forever going to be working on, forever and ever and ever,
Forever.
is to stop eating after 7:30. I think I've made this a call to action 5 times.
But you've gotten better. Wouldn't you say better at it?
Yeah, I think I'm 3, 4 days out of the week. I can do that.
But your lifestyle doesn't allow for that. You have a lot of events that happen after 7.
Yes, this is very true.
So I don't know if that means you would just adjust it and not eat so early the next morning,
hmm
or
It's not
you,
that
or you
it's
go
not
to
that I'm
bed. Yeah.
yeah, it's not that I'm trying to do the intermittent fasting. I'm not doing
Right.
that.
Right.
It's that I want to have a break before I go to sleep.
So
And
maybe yeah, maybe you have to cut it off later on those nights. On party nights,
mhm,
maybe you say 10 or
yeah.
9.
But now that our kids are not at home, we have a lot of events in the weekdays too, which is sort of like it's fun, definitely, but it's exhausting. And then you're like eating more food.
Mhm.
So it's
Well,
just
yeah,
like,
that's hard though. That's a hard one for you to manage. So maybe maybe you just make it on nights I'm home. It's a hard fast rule. There's no breaking it.
mm, hmm yeah. But I need to be able to stick to it. I think
Yeah.
I'm doing better.
But then you just tell yourself if you want something, well, you're gonna go out tomorrow night and you can have something tomorrow night at this time.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
like manipulate your brain that way, like saying, no, tonight, no, because I'm having it tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's not actually the problem for me. The problem
Oh,
is this is actually embarrassing to admit, but if I have had a proper dinner, okay, everything's fine. I met all my criteria,
okay.
and then I'm sitting and I'm watching TV at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, hmm. could eat something right now. And I'm
Uh-huh.
not hungry. I'm not actually hungry at all. But that my
I know.
brain's like, it's snack time. You're supposed to have a snack. Go have a
Hmm.
snack. And it won't stop pinging me. Go have a
Mm.
snack. Go have a snack. Go have a snack until I like actually go have a snack.
You're not alone. I think so many people do that same thing. It shouldn't be embarrassing.
Really?
Yeah. I could be reading something on at 8 o'clock at night and I want to eat something because it mentioned in a sentence about a brownie and
Yes.
I'm like, oh, do I have chocolate? Brownie? Chocolate? Like, no, I don't have chocolate, but I might have this. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Have you ever done like you're craving something like a brownie or a chocolate or cookie or something, and you're like, I have something, I can try to put something together, and you just you're not in desperation but mode, but you're like, I gotta eat something. I gotta get that sweet in. So you make something and it's just garbage, but you still eat it anyway because you're like, I
Yep.
really wanted something sweet.
And then you want something else because it really didn't
Yes.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's a
Bad.
problem.
It is. It's all the food problems that we all have, you know?
Yeah. So
So
then when I sit there and I'm like, I could have a snack and I'm watching TV, and if they're eating on TV, forget it. I'm like, what are they
same.
eating? Sounds good. It looks good. Maybe I should go get
Same.
something.
Yes. It's
It's a problem.
vicious cycle. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that is all that I really wrote down. I know there was more, by the way. I just know that that was all that I was really good at keeping track of.
I have one that I
Oh,
haven't done, and then one that I'm kind of working on.
I
One
just
was,
remember.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just remembered as I was flipping through my notes, but go ahead. I'll write it down and I'll remember.
Um, I to take a 15-minute walk after dinner. I really want to start doing that, but I have not probably even once done it
Okay.
because
That's
I'm
a
so
good
tired at
one.
the day end. But I really probably should
But the
just take
other
a.
problem with that is you don't know when you're done eating. Your time isn't consistent.
That's Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
So I think that a lot of your call to actions are for you to accomplish because there's no consistency with your lifestyle,
Timing. Yeah.
which is many people, by
Yes.
the way, many people.
Yes.
So I
I,
think you have to figure out how to make a call to action that fits with your lifestyle.
I don't
Again,
know why I
on
didn't put those pieces together. Thank you.
like, okay, on nights that I eat at home, I will go for the walk
Mm-hmm.
because you're specific. Otherwise,
Right.
you're saying after I eat dinner, I'm going to go for a walk, but then you don't do it and you feel like a failure, but you're not, it's not specific enough,
Right. Absolutely.
you know?
I did not put those pieces together. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Okay. This is one that I'm still working on. I've gotten
Okay.
better. You're going to laugh when I tell you what it is. It was the episode where I said, I'm not going to apologize for being 5 minutes late.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Do you
first of
still do
all,
that?
I'm trying not to be late. I've gotten a lot better
I
about
was going to
that.
say, how's that going?
It's going better.
Okay, good.
But where we live, there's construction everywhere. And to get out of my town, it's a nightmare. So sometimes it's out of my hands, to be very fair.
And
I'm trying, though, to leave a little bit earlier because I know that's the situation. But every day a new road is closed. So it's the construction season. So I'm trying, first of all, not to be 5 minutes late. And if I'm 5 minutes late, I'm trying to say, thank you for waiting for me.
okay,
I'm trying. I'm not great at it. I still apologize a lot, but
that's
I'm
a good
trying.
one. Thank you for waiting for me.
Hmm.
Okay. Do say the construction was so bad. Thank you for waiting for me.
Yes. I mean, I usually try to message like, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late. So I think people know they're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to disrespect anybody else's time. I'm not trying to do that. It's just, and I'm like, oh, I could throw laundry in, or oh, I could do this, or I could do
Mm-hmm.
this. And then by the time it's like, I should
Because
have
we
left five
still
minutes
have
ago.
yep, we have a million things that are going on in our head, and we're like, oh, I could do just one more thing,
Yes.
but it's
Yes.
going to be there when you get back.
Yep.
And that's the
That's
other problem. We don't want it to be there when we get back. That's the other
no,
problem. And
absolutely.
people say that,
Absolutely.
I'm like, but I don't want it to be there when I get back from the walk or the
I agree.
exercise or
I totally
so.
agree. Yeah.
Oh, the one I thought of when I was doing it was oat milk. I don't remember what episode of maybe we were talking about dairy that week, but I
And we're talking about beverages.
beverages and I was gonna try oat milk and oat creamer, coffee creamer, and I do, and I have it and I like it. Am I sold on it all the time? No, but I do buy it
Mhm.
often enough. So it tastes like
Hmm.
just like normal to me. I think everybody's so afraid to try a different coffee creamer. It's not a big
Well,
deal.
honestly, that was a big issue for me. I we talked about dairy and I was such a milk person. I needed milk in my tea, like very milky tea. I
Mhm.
needed milk in my cereal. I used a lot of milk. And the idea of transitioning away from cow's milk to something else was really nerve-wracking to me. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna make that happen. It took me probably 2, 3 years to really make up my mind to do this. And
Really?
then I started with the oat milk. I'm like, "Oh, this tastes pretty good. I can do that."
Right.
And then, I wanted to move away from the oat milk, so I started drinking the almond milk.
Mhm.
And I've talked about that, on a previous episode, but now I drink my tea with almond milk and it tastes really good.
It's a
So,
slow process, and I think we have to be patient
yes,
with ourselves.
that's the key. That's
Mhm.
absolutely the key is we need patience with ourselves. I mean, it's taken
Yep.
me almost 4 years to try to cut out dairy from my life. The gluten was a little bit easier and I'm not still great at it, but I'm doing much better. But the dairy was a lot harder for me.
I don't know. It's awful. I hate it. But I still for the majority of my days are dairy free as well.
I think that's good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all we
just
can
hard.
do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's a process and we're working on a little bit every day to be better.
Right?
And
Which
the
is a
point,
great way to reflect on this stuff.
yeah, and it's the point is we just want to be healthier for a better
Mhm.
quality of life. It's not a deprivation, it's just picking better options or choosing better things that still taste really good.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think those are my high level ones. There's a few that are it's like a throwaway, you know,
You can
but
share
nothing.
them if you want.
Allow myself to goof off on a slow day, but I haven't had a slow day in a long time. I'm so behind on TV. I'm so behind on all my shows. I'm so behind on like just chilling and reading and
Mhm.
I miss it.
I then maybe you need to make that a call to action coming up soon.
Oh, maybe.
Because if you miss it, then maybe you need to, schedule that in.
No, I
Just a
I know
thought.
that logically, but it's like there's so many hours in the day, and right
Right.
now, life is like, "Haha, do you think you can sit down? No."
Mm. Yeah. Mhm. I
So,
know that feeling. I get it.
yeah,
I get it. Oh, yeah.
life
So,
is laughing at me. So that's one, and then one I think I'm actually working on this is to stop speaking in the negative to myself.
wow, you took good
So,
notes, by the way. Because I remember that now that you said that, but I would have never thought of it.
well, it was just I was going through my notebook, and you would say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I need to write this down." So I would write down my call to action because of your prompting. And that's what would happen. So
And then I
I
clearly didn't listen to myself because I didn't write it down.
I'm just a little
Oh,
bit neurotic with my methods. So, but I think I've stopped speaking in the negative to myself a little
good
bit.
for
I mean, I
you.
I have a long way to go still,
Yeah.
but I catch myself like, oh, that's not
Good.
okay. That's not all right.
Good for you. That's really good. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
I really enjoyed reflecting on this.
me too.
How do you?
It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. It made me realize that I want to keep better track of what I do so I can reflect on it more.
Mhm.
Um, and I just like that I still have stuck to some and that I found a pattern and there may be a more of a bigger pattern here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, what I said at the beginning, like that a lot of my call to actions were about exercise. So
Right.
clearly that must have been very important to me.
Right.
And there may be another pattern when it comes to the time of the year I'm making some of these things.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it will be. We should start keeping a spreadsheet.
Isn't your daughter really good at spreadsheets? Ask her to,
Ah, yes. I should ask her for help for this.
and how, yeah, we could just add to it each week.
Yeah.
That might be actually kind of fun. We do it for all of our members in our call to action groups.
Yeah, we actually do. Why don't we do it
We
for
do it for
ourselves?
every single call to action group we have a spreadsheet for of what their call to actions are.
Yeah, for like the past year and a
But you
half.
and I don't do it. It's
That's
this is crazy. This is just like when I was packing my kids' lunch and then not packing myself one. Like, I'm taking the time to do it. All right, we gotta work this out.
I don't know why that hit me sideways. I'm like, this makes so much sense. Why are we
What
not
is
doing
wrong with
it?
us? I know.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's wrong with us. We just didn't like. All right, now this is this. If nothing else, if nobody likes this episode, we at least got this out of this episode.
I think
Oh,
so.
all
Yeah.
right.
I think that's going to be my call to action is to create a spreadsheet for the two of us.
Okay, I'll let you do it. If you want
I
to,
don't
go
mind.
for it.
I love it.
All
It
right.
helps me learn and look, we need to keep track of this stuff.
Yeah, we do because it's a way to grow.
It's a way to grow and the way that we celebrate our members,
Hmm.
we should celebrate ourselves.
Right.
Don't you
Okay.
think?
Yeah. By the way, my call to action is going to be use my 3 pound weights one time.
Oh, okay.
Yep. One time.
I
So,
like
and
it.
I still have to try the ice cream, the gelato, but that is planned on doing today. So
That's hopefully an easy one.
hopefully. So,
The Talenti is so good.
oh, good. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
And for me, like a couple of spoons of it are so satisfying. I don't need to eat a lot.
Okay. I'm going to try and prove you wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I like
All
your call to
right.
action though. And I think if anybody needs help, they should definitely reach out to us. We have a lot of options for them to seek help, seek accountability, depending on what level
Yeah.
of commitment they
And
want.
and maybe you're just going, I don't even know where to start. What would my call to action be? We have
Mhm.
plenty of ideas and resources and thoughts on them and what you can make your own call to action.
Absolutely. So reach out to us on our social media, WW Chiclia or Health Coach Kamna. And you can also find us at Facebook.
Wait,
Wait, what?
wait, what? Hmm.
So
We're both on
we're
Instagram as well.
Instagram, Facebook,
Hmm.
yeah, TikTok, we're everywhere.
We are there. So, well, have
Reach
a good
out.
week.
You too.
See you next
Bye.
week. Bye.